BLUELOCK chapter 302 has just released a Nagi focused chapter on his life after the elimination, his final thoughts, and how he's feeling. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna say, more Nagi Seishoru, bro, really, just let it go, man. But to that, I gotta say, this was one of the best Nagi chapters, because this chapter actually gets the waterworks going. If you're a Nagi fan, you're crying tears of sadness, and if you're a Nagi hater, you're crying tears of joy. Regardless, we are all crying. So let's cover this chapter, review it, and analyze what this actually means for Nagi Seishoru. So let's go. Chapter begins with a familiar sight, Nagi waking up from bed and checking in on his cactus Choki. Y'all, this is a literal one-to-one callback of episode Nagi's first chapter. Kaneshiro, the goat you are, how do you even remember this? We're starting off with some fire callbacks on top of Nagi's get ready with me routine, and I'ma be honest, we getting ready for a whole lot of nothing because we're heading straight to school. Yes, it's time to pack our bags. We aren't going to McDonald's, we aren't going to BLUELOCK, but instead back to his ordinary life at high school, where immediately Nagi is flooded with people asking questions. Keep in mind, Nagi during episode Nagi was canonically a loner. I'm not even saying that just to say that. So these are some greedy clout chasers. Even bro in the back got the biggest smile. I ain't ever seen someone this happy in the manga before. They're actually pretty chill though, because his classmates are telling him they watched him on BLUELOCK TV, started glazing him on his goal, and we get this one girl asking about Ryo too. It's just constant questions as they ask him if he's gonna become a pro player and that the offer is still on the table. Now, even though we're in the middle of the review, I think this little dialogue right here confirms so much. We had zero clue what the club offers could actually do, especially for the eliminated players, but now someone has brought it up and even saying that the offer is still on the table. If this isn't foreshadowing, I don't know what is. I'll talk more about it towards the end, but this whole time this girl is asking about Ryo as well, and I would say, could we read the room please, because how can you not know what happened? But actually looking at the first chapter of episode Nagi, this girl was here too. In fact, she was a Ryo glazer asking him to go on a study date the next time he was free. So I don't know if she saw the 4K goodbye. She genuinely might just be asking about Ryo without knowing what the hell happened to them. I saw a lot of people giving her flack for asking Nagi about Ryo right after what happened, but this could just be the biggest misunderstanding of all time, because all of these questions sort of pisses off Nagi as he tells everyone else to forget it. It's all over now. But bro in the back still trying to ask about the pro offer. This gotta be one of you guys in disguise trying to find a way to bring him back into BLUELOCK. But Nagi just tells him to forget it again, even saying that he is done with football. So we get a little insight on Nagi's current state of mind. He obviously doesn't want anything to do with football, whether it be going pro again, Ryo, or just playing. Do we really believe this though? Because the next page is about the teacher telling the class they need to think about their futures carefully now because they're third years. Of course, something about their futures would be mentioned right after Nagi said he didn't want anything to do with football. It's so obvious that he's somehow gonna be coming back to it. But during this time though, we see Nagi is up to his usual shenanigans, sleeping in class, eating in the middle of class. I'm actually surprised he's not an F student with how much he slacks off. It's just more and more updates on his daily life as we see him go back to playing games on his phone, sitting on top of the roof alone, saying there's nothing and that there's no hassle. And he uses that to sort of justify why it's okay for him to leave BLUELOCK, but the flashbacks are hitting this guy at every corner and turn. At the staircase of his school, he's reminded of him trapping his phone, which started his whole football journey with Ryo, and as he rides his bike alone at night, he's reminded of how they rode that bicycle together too. We are actually in the first stage of grief denial, because he's trying to deny all of it, saying that this is not his life anymore. And as he bikes around, he notices a crowd in awe of a poster of the BLUELOCK top 3. This is just the nail in the coffin for bro. Tom Holland can relate to Nagi at this current moment. They really had to make every waking moment of Nagi to be a callback to BLUELOCK. I mean, what are the chances that there is a billboard right where Nagi is biking? I do gotta say though, the boys are flicked up here. They really chose a picture of a Rin with his tongue out. Isagi is photogenic, somehow he still looks good mid-scream. Shido giving a little devious smile too. Nagi takes a good gander at the poster, specifically at Isagi with the no emotion and dead eyes we saw before. I know bro is absolutely feeling it right now. He was previously number 2, so he's feeling like he got cut from the picture. He could have been there. And it's finally time to cue the sad music, y'all, because even after that, Nagi is still in denial, saying it's fine, forget it, as he goes through the school day, eventually with everyone leaving. Nagi is left alone in class with his head still buried in his arms, probably got Post Malone playing. You can just tell bro is going through it even though he's telling himself he's okay. But he glances over and like a Disney story, this gotta be scripted. Of course, people are playing football right outside, which acts as the final reminder for him for some emotions to finally come to his eyes. Specifically, after seeing people playing together, he tells himself that he should forget it. So why is he sad, as tears well up in Nagi's eyes? And wow, the first time Nagi showed any emotion, even when he scored a goal in front of Japan, he wasn't like this. You know it's serious when the nonchalant character starts crying. Seeing Nagi cry for the first time is actually kind of tragic. It hits even harder because this can literally happen to anyone. He starts regretting past actions, asking himself why he didn't try harder, and that his fire from BLUELOCK won't ever come back. And this is just the worst. You don't want to live a life of regret. So right now, everyone is feeling sad here. It's more dialogue about how it was all new to Nagi, so he didn't realize it, with panels of Isagi, Ryo, Rin, and Barou showing pretty much everyone close or rivals to him. And we jump all the way to the last stage of grief, acceptance. He finally stops denying it, saying that it's not okay, it's too late, and that he can't go back. BLUELOCK was so much fun. It's more and more panels of everyone from BLUELOCK specifically, not just the football playing aspect. We see first selection Isagi, Chigiri, Barou, and Zantetsu. Second selection Bachira and U20 Rin. He talks about how he wants to go back and that he didn't know anything. He should have just chased after them and get fired up. The last page is a panel of Nagi fully crying, saying that he wants to go back to that old version of himself, but he can't, ending off the chapter there. Not gonna lie, seeing Nagi full-on crying can make anyone sad. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. This chapter even got Nagi haters questioning themselves. Is hating on Nagi even fun anymore? This is too sad. He obviously misses BLUELOCK. Yes, he can take that pro offer. It's still on the table, but he's still emotional about his regrets and leaving BLUELOCK, which was fun for him. I gotta say it for the people in the back who don't understand why he's crying. This was very well written. I know spending a whole chapter on Nagi might seem insane to some people, especially because we've been getting hints towards him for the last like 5 chapters, but this is the first time we're actually seeing what happened to an eliminated player. We didn't even get this for the wild card, so it is kind of something new and something I kind of enjoy. If you're reading on a week-to-week basis, this could kind of seem a little dragged out with how many references we get to Nagi, but I assure you, people reading it in one volume or all together, this is definitely needed. It makes sense as well. Nagi is a very popular character and emotional chapters have always been in BLUELOCK. I think this shows the strength of the writing. Even some people who don't like Nagi can still feel bad for bro. I think I'm pretty neutral with it. I appreciate the writing. I don't think I'm as big of a fan as some people who are begging for him to come back. In fact, I don't even think he should return until way later. Regardless, this was a very good chapter filled with a lot of foreshadowing. The first thing is, I think we can all expect Nagi to take that club offer. The fact that they even mentioned it earlier in the chapter, that it still stands, it could be a very good opportunity for Nagi to continue playing football. I don't see him coming back to the Japan U20. I think that would ruin the whole elimination and make it very anticlimactic. He's probably training for that club that offered him a salary and then coming back to the story way later on. I'm sure episode Nagi is going to adapt some of that too. That's going to be super hype, but I think something that's even more hype is the next chapter's title, BLUELOCK Japan. Now, yet again, what the hell does this mean? I'm not entirely sure, but this chapter title sounds very, very big. Something to do with the Japan team, obviously. Maybe it's the announcement of the next training arc for BLUELOCK's Japan team and the top 23 players. I've obviously talked about that a lot before, or it could be something relating to the team in general. Itoshi Sai hasn't been mentioned yet. He's still a very big question mark, so this could very much be answered in the next chapter. Barat Suta's conversation with Ray Dark, I think, will get revealed in this chapter as well. well. We know he manages the JFU, so he has some influence over the Blue Lock Japan team. Maybe it can be all three at once. I'm not entirely sure. I just have a weird intuition that this will be a very big chapter for the future of Blue Lock, because 303, the next chapter, is when the volume ends. And you guys know when a volume ends for Blue Lock, it's a very big chapter ending. Usually during games, it's like goals. I'm pretty sure Isagi's Demon King shot was the last chapter of the volume. Either that or goal celebrations, just something very, very big, a climax. So I'm expecting this to be a big bang for the final chapter of the volume. I'm super excited. This is such a good time to be a Blue Lock fan because we're getting so much new stuff. Anyways, that about wraps it up for this chapter review. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter, if you liked it or if you disliked it, what you think the next chapter will be about, because I think this next chapter is about to be huge. If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching as always. YouTube really thinks you like this video right here, so make sure to check that one out. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one.